Welcome back to Viewer's Voice. For this episode, I want to just talk about the word perspective and what it means in a bunch of different ways and scenarios. But overall, the word, we know what it means, we know what it can be attached to, or what kind of notations it may be in like compared to or compared with. For instance, like when you talk about someone's perspective or your own perspective or whoever, you're talking about the way things are perceived and viewed by an individual or multiple individuals, right? I don't know what the actual definition is on Google, but I can at least assure you it will tell you something of the sort, where it's like you perceive something in the form of, I mean, it depends on the topic, but if you could perceive something in your own way, it's how you view it, it's how you see it, it's how you can understand it, it's how it makes sense in your head. And when you talk about it in someone else's kind of point of view, it's how it makes sense in their head, and simply, right? So the importance of it and the importance of the word and the importance of applying it in all different forms is the fact that when you really like break down the word and you break down how someone else kind of explains the word or whatever their definition of the word is, that gives you more insight. So let's say breakfast. I'm just gonna use a random topic. We're gonna say breakfast. How do I perceive breakfast? I can perceive breakfast as a way to start the day off strong, get a bunch of energy, get in a good mood, right? Someone else could perceive breakfast in a completely different way. Someone could perceive breakfast as just something that's just unnecessary. They don't need it. They'll eat brunch. They'll eat lunch. They could eat dinner. They don't need breakfast. It's just a way things are perceived. However, the way perspectives is kind of like important to you and to others is it allows you to kind of put together different bits and bits of information and utilize it, right? So if you see that somebody views something in this form or fashion, even if it doesn't align with you, that's okay. It's important to be able to see things from different lenses, because that's the only way you're ever going to understand life and be able to go about life so comfortably. People don't realize that life it's never going to be black and white. It's never going to be black and white. It's never going to be gray either. It's not going to be just pink. It could be any other color you want it to be. It's about who is seeing it, right? So let's say glasses. I wear glasses. I could be nearsighted. I could be farsighted. I could be wearing 3D glasses. I could be wearing shades. It doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make here is that not everyone's going to see things the same way, but it's important to at least at times check it out from a different lens. Maybe the glasses I wear are for me being nearsighted. Maybe the glass somebody else wears is for them being farsighted. Well, guess what? If I swap out my glasses with them every once in a while, it's like, okay, I can understand things that I couldn't understand the first time, right? Or let's say you don't wear glasses at all, which you might need them. What I mean by that is like sometimes people aren't understanding that they need different perspectives. I found a decent quote I think could be used to really represent how certain words and phrases can really mean multiple different things based on how they're read or by who they're read by. So for instance, there's this quote that says, "You're unique, just like everyone else." Now, at face value, you might think like the first time like you listen to it, okay, I'm unique. Nice, that's a great thing. But then you hear the second part and you think like, okay, if I'm unique like everyone else, how am I unique if I'm just like everyone else? Wouldn't that all make us the same person, right? So it would make you think and kind of really try to break down the question. And I mean, obviously everyone's unique, but if everyone's unique, then how is everyone not the same person? So it's like it really makes you think, for instance, or let's say words as well can have different meanings the way you read it, whatever. A way I like to put it is because some people believe that curse words strictly have to be profanity. They don't. They honestly don't. You calling somebody something or telling them something in a derogatory form gives that word negative effects and makes it a curse word. Or even some profane words aren't exactly curse words if you take away the derogatory meanings behind it. It's just about how you look at it. Or even simple phrases can be spun differently based on how you emphasize a certain word in said sentence. Like, for example, if I say you are really beautiful, right? I could be saying you really kind of like emphasizing the you part. I can be emphasizing the beautiful part letting you know, like I truly mean this, like if not at a more heightened sense. I could emphasize the really part and emphasize just how much I like really mean it. It could switch up. Obviously that's not the best example, there are plenty more to be told, but just based on how you look at it, how you think about it, and how the next person may think and look at it, it just really shows you like there's a broader image than a lot of people are allowing themselves to see. And I want to just talk about it more because it's a negative thing when some people don't know how to look at some things from the next person's POV. It makes you look more selfish. It makes you look like you lack the education that you require, and so many things. And I feel like one of the biggest detriments it could cause is because if you go through a lot of hardships or a lot of hard situations, and you tend to only like extract the negatives behind said hardships, you will never truly be who you could be if you don't utilize all the things that are given to you. Now, I'm not saying you extracting the negatives are just automatically gonna make you a negative person automatically. No, you can take the bad things and at least teach yourself, okay, never put myself in this position again, never allow myself to be retaught this lesson, blah blah blah. However, when you do something like that, when you only pay attention to the bad things that's ever happened to you, you're never gonna realize just how much good there is too. And one of the biggest things I could tell you is the good things will always outweigh the bad. It doesn't matter how bad it gets. Well, this is something that could be looked at differently, obviously, given the topic of the video. But what I mean by that, because some people swear that their life is never gonna change or never gonna turn around for the better, based on how many bad things happened in this point in time, and just boom, boom, boom. Like whenever you stack up all the cons, there are certain pros that can outweigh any amount of cons, and vice versa too, of course. But for instance, let's say I named a bunch of different things that happened to me this week, and I compare all those things to the fact that I'm still here today breathing. That one pro is enough to outweigh everything else that just happened. I just got injured. I just lost this. I just lost this person. This just happened. Boom, boom, boom. At the end of the day, I'm still here, right? So it's like that's just one pro that can outweigh those cons. Plus, you can stack up more pros. It's like I think people didn't realize like not everything in life has to be bad, even if it originates from a bad thing. So if you're the kind of person that goes through a lot of hard things and you're just unfortunate and you just kind of attract a lot of negative situations, I hope that obviously changes for you and for the better. But to be fair, it's like that's not the only thing that's happening to you in that moment. But as I was saying, is like a lot of reasons why a lot of people need to really turn perception and being able to see different perspectives into a skill, because some people have, well, most of the time it's based on the mindset, of course. So like if you have a victimizing mindset, you will only extract a lot of those negative things that like have unfortunate connotations to an event or a situation. Therefore, it's like when you do something like that, you truly, and I mean truly, overlook just how many positive things you could have also pulled from that. Like you realize you could turn. It's not about the situation. It's not about the instance. It's not about the experience. It's about the lesson that you learned from said experience. And this just applies to people in general. You should never truly like base somebody off of their situation and experiences, but rather off of the lesson that they learned from it. So if somebody's only gonna pull negative things from this, that's on them. But at the end of the day, it's like there's so much more you're missing if all you're focusing on is the negative things. I understand like some things are just outright harsh, outright bad, but you could still always pull at least one good thing from it. Let's say you went outside late at night and you got robbed or something. Obviously, that's a horrible situation to be in. However, if you're only gonna pull, let's say, oh, I'm weak, I'm vulnerable, I'm an easy target. If that's the only thing you're gonna pull from that situation, that is gonna be a problem. If especially if you don't at least utilize it. If you don't think, okay, if I'm so weak, if I'm so vulnerable, easy target, let me address that, let me fix that. If all you're gonna do is take that and leave that what it is, that's gonna be a negative situation, negative impact on you, and you're gonna keep victimizing yourself in every situation you're put in, just like that one. However, if you at least look at it for what good it could have done for you, if it could at least taught you, okay, don't go out this late, don't bring this, don't do that, something like if you could at least pull the positives, because there are positives that lie within bad situations, like I said, if you could at least pull the positives out of said situation, you can at least improve the way you look at things and the way you look at yourself even. And I said, because like I said, there's too many people at this point to where it's like you are allowing yourself to be corrupted by your mindset and by you believing that you can't do anything right, or you aren't deserving of the right things, right? And at some point it's okay. But like I said, so it's okay, man, because it isn't brought to some people's attention. But if it is brought to your attention, understand, like, okay, what are ways I could truly improve me in the way I think about things and the way I perceive things and address things, and what are some ways that this person perceives things and addresses things. And like I said, one of my favorite quotes all the time is the same water that hardens an egg softens a potato. So it's like, understand the same things aren't going to apply to the same people. It's going to apply to different people in different ways, and so on and so forth. But at the very minimum, understand, like, you don't always have to be on the negative end of certain things, whether it's the way you perceive something, whether it's the way you experience something, whether it's the way you indulge in something. There are other ways to go about it. And like in sports, there's not just one right way to play the sport. There's other ways to do that. If I'm playing basketball, I don't always have to shoot. I could drive. I could just play defense. I could just pass. There's other ways to play the sport properly. If I'm playing a game, people play games at a time, but they aren't only playing in one way. If it's a multiple decision based game, they could play it in different ways to get different endings. If it's like Dead by Daylight or something, they could be the healer of the team, they could be the looper, they could do gens. There's other ways to properly meet the objective and meet the goal without it being on the like lesser side or negative side or whatever. At that point, you're just not doing what you should be doing in the first place. But like I said, it's a way broader, way more like various topic, and I'm pretty sure other people have their inputs, and that's why I'm the kind of person that just enjoys like debating about it, never arguing. There's no point to argue about it. You just simply debate, agree, disagree, whatever you want to do. But it's important that you have this conversation with yourself or other people, because there's other ways that you can understand life itself, and having a perspective on life and a perception on certain things is how you should be living. But that's gonna be all for the video. I appreciate each and every one, guys, listening. I'll see you guys in the next one.